Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial video on my YouTube channel. As usual, I am Mr. Olo and this is Vic's Tutorials. So in today's tutorial video, I'll be showing you briefly how you can create color palettes on Illustrator or in Adobe Illustrator. How you can easily create color palettes in Adobe Illustrator. This can help you in your workflow. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so now we are in Adobe Illustrator. The next thing we are going to do is to go over to create new. So when you click on create new, this tab is going to pop up. We go over to A4 and we select A4. I'll be working with the landscape mode of A4. So we go over to the orientation area and you click on the orientation option. Then you click on create. Then you hold up for some seconds and your workspace is going to load. So now your workspace uploaded. We'll now go over to our ellipse tool. This will enable us to create a circle. So we just draw out a circle. Now if you notice, we are not really getting the circle. So in order to create a proportional circle, you hold your shift key. So now our shift key is held and we've created our circle. Okay, we go back to the fill area. In the appearance option, we go over to the fill and we change the color. Okay, you can find that in the properties bar. So we're going to be working with blue today. You can choose any color of your choice. So after we've given the color blue to the circle, we go back to the stroke and remove the outline. Or you can say you remove the stroke. You go back to none and you select none. Now the next thing is to create a duplicate of our circle. So in order to create a duplicate, we will drag and then hold the shift key so that it can align to the very first one. So when you drag the circle to a chosen option or distance, you hold the alt key to create a duplicate. Then we go back to the fill and we give it the color magenta. You're working with CMYK. If this was RGB, this would have been pink, but because it's CMYK, this is magenta. You can choose a complementary color of your choice. Now we've done this. So the next thing we are going to do in order to blend these two is to click on the W key on your keyboard. So when you click on the W key, it activates your blend tool. Now once you've clicked your blend tool, you select the blue, then you select the magenta and you've created your blend. So after this, you go over to your object. Okay, now you go over to your object, then you go over to blend, then you go over to blend options. So now you've gone to blend options, you under the spacing, you choose the specified steps. Then make sure your orientation is aligned to page, not aligned to part, but rather aligned to page. Then beside the spacing, you can choose 3, you can choose 5, depending on how many pellets you want, but we'll be working with 5 today. So I will just choose 5, then I click on OK, and our color palettes have been created. This is how you can easily create a color palette in Adobe Illustrator. So the next thing you're going to do is you can take this further by creating multiple color palettes or easily creating multiple color palettes for your design project or even your brand identity project designs. So now to do that, we are going to make a duplicate of this particular color palette that we've created. So we're going to take this up now. So now we've placed it here. We're going to create a duplicate holding the Alt key. Then we make Ctrl D, Ctrl D, and Ctrl D. Okay, sorry, we're going to delete that one. Then we're just going to work with these 4 samples here. So now we have created a duplicate. So we're going to create extra 3 color palettes from these other 3 duplicates we created, leaving our original color palette in hand. So now to create extra color palettes from this, you're going to hold the Control key, then you select on the very first circle. Then you go to your appearance bar, you select fill, then you can choose a color of your choosing. So we're going to say maybe orange. Then you can see that a color palette has already been created. It automatically blends, like it automatically creates new color palettes. So we choose on that color, you see that automatically worked. So your color palette will respond to the colors you're going to be using. So let's say we want to use yellow for this, then we go over to the second one and we hold our Control key and select the first circle. Then let's say we were working with green. Okay, now let's say you're working with green and let's say green is your primary color. Okay, green is your primary color. Now one thing you need to note is make sure that your selection tool is activated. Now let's say go into our primary color, then your secondary color can be the last circle. Then you can, you can choose the last circle, hold your control key, then you click on fill, and you can choose your secondary color. Let's say your secondary color was something lemonish in color. Okay, this doesn't really look lemonish. This look, let's say, okay, let's use this other one which is more lemonish, or lemon in color, sorry. So now you can see that we've created a color palette from that. You go back to the last one, holding your control key, you select your primary color, you give it a color. So let's say we are working with this red. You can choose your secondary color. You can give it something else. You can see that your color palette has been created. So this is how you can create color palettes easily on Adobe Illustrator. You can see how the palettes are responding as you're changing the colors that you're using in your the colors of your choosing. So make sure that whatever colors you're using responds and complements themselves. You don't want to create some kind of awkward color palette, or color palette that isn't pleasing or wouldn't solve your problem. So this is how you can easily create color palette in Adobe Illustrator. You can use this for your design projects, for your brand identity design projects, and all whatnot. So this brings us to the end of this particular tutorial. Now you can export this file actually as images. You can export them as SVGs and maybe use them in other design softwares of your choosing. So I'll be leaving you guys here in this tutorial video. If you loved it, please hit the like button, okay, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as it helps us to grow. And if at all you have a question, or you have something that you don't understand in this tutorial and you're finding it difficult, please leave it in the comment section and I'll make sure I respond to you as soon as possible. So until the next time we see, stay safe and stay healthy, and click on any of the video description to improve your graphic design skills. Namaste.